All right, meantime, the road back for the economy will come into focus in about 2 hours with the release of the monthly jobs number. Now, the unemployment rate is expected to fall to 9.8%, though hiring estimated to have slowed down a bit last month. Joining us now to talk about it is Michelle Girard, co-head of global economics at NatWest, and Michelle Holder, assistant professor of economics at John Jay College. I love this because I can say both your names, get them wrong, and still be right. Michelle Girard, I'm going to start with you. All right, the consensus we're going for is 1.3 million, but your estimate's at 1.9, and it kind of goes to show that be careful to focus on, and I say be careful to us, the media, to focus on that consensus forecast because it really doesn't reflect where everything may land. How wide do you think the dispersion on this number could be?
Oh, Brian, especially at these times, we talk about forecasts being off 500,000 or a million in terms of the range of estimates. It's, we all take these data now post-COVID with a huge grain of salt. Obviously, our own confidence in any point estimate is diminished. I think you have to step back and really look at what the numbers are telling us about the progress that we're making back to where we were pre-COVID. And, whether the number is 1.3, 1.6, 1.9, the bottom line is those numbers would be consistent with us regaining through August about half of the 22 million jobs that were lost as a result of COVID. And I think that's the benchmark that we're all trying to gauge. How far have we come and how much further do we have to go? And of course, to some extent, the markets are even forward-looking beyond these August numbers. We're seeing announcements in the paper of furloughs that are turning into permanent job losses. We're going into the fall, concerns about what the return of school will be. So there are a lot of, I think even to the extent that with these numbers not splitting hairs, the markets will also be looking forward as well.
Yeah, and Michelle Holder, we talked about it a lot this week. Schools are so important to the jobs number because if your kid's stuck at home and you can't work remotely, then you're not going to be able to go to work, period, end of story. What are you expecting today? And to you, what is, maybe besides the headline number, the most important thing to take out of this report?
So good morning. Thank you for having me on. I'm going to echo what Michelle just said. Number one, I anticipate that the unemployment rate will either, stay steady at around 10% or tick down. But I think most of the forecasts have suggested that the unemployment rate is going to tick down. And again, whether or not the job creation number is between 1 million or, closer to 2 million, the important point is that the economy is still gaining jobs, although with 20 million people unemployed, a monthly gain of, between 1 and 2 million isn't really going to get us very far very quickly. So I think probably, two of the most important things to think about is really how long is it going to take us to get back to some level of normalcy, and not even pre-COVID recession levels. And secondly, I do want to talk about certain demographics. Even though the unemployment rate has been trending down since its peak, the Black unemployment rate is still the highest at this point. During the earlier part of the pandemic, it was really the Latinx unemployment rate that took the biggest hit. But that has now been kind of surpassed by the Black unemployment rate, which as of last count, I believe is between 14 and 15%.
How do we fix it? Michelle Holder.
Yeah, how do we fix it? Well, the first thing we need to do is actually fix the problem in the economy, which is getting the virus under control. There are people who want to go back to work, but are afraid to go back to work, right? So in order to fix the problem of Black unemployment and Latinx unemployment, we really have to fix the overall unemployment picture.